Tribunal, who is a member of UK Parliament, Jeremy Corbyn.
Thank you very much. Thank you for hosting this tribunal, and thank you to all those that have organised it, because it couldn't be more important at a more timely moment. We're just reminded by Tarek of the heroic role played by Clive Ponting in a former generation, doing so much to expose lies and dishonesty. And also, if I may say so, the heroic work of the late Tam Dalyell, Member of Parliament, in doing exactly the same over the Falklands War and others. And following what Salai just said about Afghanistan, I would like to concentrate my remarks about Iraq, if I may. I was a founder member of the Stop the War Coalition, which was founded immediately after 9/11 to try and prevent the bombing of Afghanistan. And it gives me no pleasure to say 20 years later, trillions spent, tens of thousands died, many in exile, including 457 British soldiers who died, that there should be some lessons learned from that. John MacDonald, who's on the tribunal as well, and myself were both members of Parliament during this whole period. And we'd opposed the Afghan war. And then, early part of 2002, there began to be various stories planted in various media which sort of suggested that somehow or other Iraq was the same as bin Laden, and Iraq was somehow or other linked up with the Taliban, and we had to be very wary of Iraq, which was quite a stretch for the imagination of quite a lot of people, particularly as not very long before, in the late 80s, Britain had been arming Iraq. And indeed, I made myself extremely unpopular with many parliamentary colleagues for opposing arms sales to Iraq in 1988, not long before the Gulf War. And the build-up in 2002 was saying that Iraq was a severe danger. The claim that Iraq housed weapons of mass destruction, the attempt by weapons inspectors to find these weapons of mass destruction, which they were unsuccessful in doing. Indeed, everybody was going to be unsuccessful in doing them because they simply didn't exist. And also the claims that Iraq was within 45 minutes of a major attack on various places, obviously within the region of Iraq, but right over into Western Europe. And what scared me was the gullibility of so many of the media that just swallowed this stuff that was given to them by Downing Street and by many others. I was one of those that organised the enormous demonstration in February 2003 in Hyde Park, the biggest ever demonstration in British history. And if I may quote myself at that big event, I said, if we go to war with Iraq, it will not bring peace, it will bring the wars of tomorrow, the refugee flows of tomorrow, the bitterness, the hatred, and the terrorism of tomorrow. Sadly, every single thing that I predicted then has come to be the case. And so, when many of us challenged what was being said by the government, what was being said in the media about weapons of mass destruction, about the plans of Iraq, and so on, we then later learned through the many inquiries that took place, and ultimately through the Chilcot inquiry, that the role of the security services was enormous in this, and the implications being that when opinions or information arrived at the political heart of the whole operation, if they didn't suit the political narrative being put forward, they were simply sent back to be rewritten. If we have a society where there is secrecy and untrammeled power of government of taking us into war, where there is an unaccountable security service and unaccountable security information that's being put forward, it is extremely dangerous. Therefore, the role of the media and of real journalists is absolutely enormous in that. And Julian Assange has paid a very, very, very high price for his lifelong determination to expose the truth. Why? Is it because he has some idea that he can make himself famous by exposing the truth? Or is it something much stronger and much more moral than that? The belief that by exposing the truth, you can save lives, you can stop wars, and you can make sure that democracies function properly by holding all public officials, elected or unelected, to public account. And that's why the role of Julian Assange in all of this is so important. His information exposed the dishonesty surrounding the claims on Iraq. His information exposed the dishonesty of the continuing reporting of Iraq after 2003, with hidden information about the numbers of people that had died from friendly fire in Iraq, but also the dangers to all journalists, to everyone who believes in free speech, of the concept of the embedded journalist, embedded on an aircraft carrier, sent into a barracks or whatever else, to produce reports that are to the liking of the military. So those of us who want to live in a peaceful world and do not believe that a repeat of Iraq will do anything other than bring about even worse consequences than the Iraq War did, are here because we want to support Julian Assange in the bravery that he's shown and the price that he's already paid for that bravery of ensuring that the whole world knows the truth about it. And as my colleague Tariq Ali was saying earlier, in a different place, in a different country, in a different society, Julian Assange would now be hailed by every aspect of the British media for being a hero, because he's exposing the truth. But because the uncomfortable truths that he exposed have been revealed, he's not in that case. Now, as one who has been a Member of Parliament throughout all this period and was very proud to lead the Labour Party during this period, I thought long and hard about what it is like to be in government when you are challenging those people that are handing you information, which is why I believe that there has to be a War Powers Act in Britain, which is what I placed into both of my manifestos, and there has to be real accountability of all aspects of the security services and the military in the role of their special forces as well. Now, democratically elected politicians are elected to hold government and others to account, and holding people to account is, of course, the political process, but it's also the media. And I think the role that Julian Assange has played in exposing uncomfortable truths is something that he should be very proud of, and all those that work with him and support him should be very proud of. And that's why I'm so pleased to be able to take part in this tribunal today. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks a lot. And we are also very proud to have you among the members of the Belmarsh Tribunal.